You may be seated. Sorry, guys, kind of missed out on the rehearsal, so. My dear friends, we have all come together today from as far away as Omaha and Lincoln and as close to the heart as California, so that we may bless, seal, and strengthen the union of this couple in the presence of this community in a marriage for the ages. We're here because we all abundantly bless this love. Renee and Jim, as you prepare to take these vows, give careful thought and prayer, for as you take them, you're making an exclusive commitment to each other for as long as you both shall live. Your love for each other should never be diminished by difficult circumstances, and it is to endure until death parts you. Let us remember that marriage has been established for the welfare and happiness of all of mankind. I ask that when you enter this marriage, to cherish a mutual admiration and love, to comfort each other in sickness, trouble, and sorrow, to provide for each other, and to live together as heirs of the grace of life. In Genesis, it says, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." And that's why we're all here today. It's for Renee and Jim. Now, one of the best parts about them asking me to do this was me getting to sit down with the two of them and basically grill them and ask them all the questions that I wanted to possibly ask them about their upcoming nuptials today. The special part about this, though, was when we actually did this. Partially on email, but the other part was when we're in the midst of a 6-hour adventure on the California countryside for a wine tasting at 3 different wineries. So as I've come to know the two of them, for probably longer than we all would like to admit, I've noticed a lot of similarities between the two of them. Both of them value families. Both of them value their families and their relationships with their families so much that they really, truly are happy and grateful of their time that they have together. Both of them were scared and excited to make that move halfway across the country, even though their families all lived very close, with Renee's mom living just 4 close blocks away. Now, we all knew that when they make that move away from friends and family, it was a very big jump. But it was a jump that they were willing to make. And both of them also have a great sense of humor, obviously, and can easily be the center of an audience or the quiet onlooker at any time. Now, they are also looking forward to traveling places and that they've never been to, and they're curiously optimistic about that, as Jim said. And this one is for the parents. I had to throw one in there. So congratulations. They want to have children, and they even look forward to the experiences of raising their children and getting to see grandchildren also. So congratulations, parents. And then the other thing is, I'm sure everyone wants to know, if you don't already know, is how Jim actually got to pop the question. Since you guys already know, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the first-hand responses, as me paraphrasing it isn't quite as good as what they said. So Renee's response: we were heading to an Oakland A's baseball game. We went previously that day and bought A's t-shirts. Jim made sure I was wearing my new shirt. As I returned from checking doors and putting Putsy in her kennel, Jim stood in the kitchen and asked me if I wanted to wear this. By this, he meant the engagement ring. Jim continued talking and asked me if I would marry him. I stopped and said, "No, what?" I was a bit shocked. However, thought it was coming soon, as there was a lot of talk about the subject, and we had went to look at rings. I, of course, said yes, and went nuts, immediately calling my mom, and then off to the baseball game they went. And I did not think it was coming that day. That was part of the shock. At the baseball game, we ate greasy food, had beers and margaritas, and at the end of the game, we stayed for a tribute to Michael Jackson as a fireworks show. It was awesome. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that one. Jim, he also recollected the proposal in much the same way. However, he stated his intentions very purely. I just plainly asked her if she would marry me. I didn't want the getting down on one knee or any of that other pomp that generally goes with asking for marriage. I've always valued that with Renee and I, regardless of difficulty of situation or any awkwardness or shyness, we're always forthcoming and honest in what our needs are. And so, I wanted the marriage proposal to be done in that same spirit. So I just plainly asked. Thank you, Jim. So one of the best things for me also that came from that day on the wine tasting tour was I got some instructions for the wedding here. So my instructions for the wedding from the wine tasting tour. Number 1 is they're writing their own vows. Very simple. Thank you, guys. That one was easy to say, even though I stuttered. Number 2 is it has to be short and it has to be sincere. And that's all that they said. So we're trying to keep this ceremony as close to their wishes as possible and still true to their personalities and intentions. And so, in the presence of this assembly, I ask the two of you to state your intentions by responding to the following questions. Renee and Jim, have you come here freely and without reservation to give yourselves to each other in marriage? If so, say, we have.
We have.
Will you love and honor each other as man and wife for the rest of your lives? If so, say, we will.
We will.
Will you accept children lovingly and bring them up accordingly in our great nation of America? If so, say, we will.
We will.
Now, Renee and Jim, to show your love for each other, I know that the two of you sat down and put a lot of time and effort and thought into your vows. So without further ado, I'm finally going to stop talking, and I'm going to let Renee go ahead and start.
Here we go. Since the moment we walked hand in hand, a simple thought ran through my mind. I can simply live with you, or I can live without you. I can go with you, or I can stand on my own. These words have fluttered through me many times throughout the last 29 months. However, each decision, each thought always came down to me imagining your laugh, your thoughtful spirit, your compassion for my family and friends, your ambition, your dedication, your fearlessness, and your kindness. You are my best friend. You are my teacher. You are my listener. You're my Friday night dinner date, my grocery store accomplice, and the keeper of my dreams. You make me laugh. You let me cry. You bring adventure into my life, and you never take one moment we have together for granted. I promise to stand next to you in all that life will bring, to conquer our fears, to challenge our lives, to make you laugh, to wipe your tears, to hold your hand, and to encourage your dreams. But most of all, I promise to be your equal in all things and to love you through all of the days of my life. So I stand here before you, committing all that I am to you, to never again questioning if my life will be with you, without you, because together we can conquer forever. I love you. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Renee. Jim?
I wrote it on notebook paper is all I could find. Dear Renee, when most people will quit, you push harder. When most people shut down, you open up. When most people are full of resentment, you summon the courage to remain dignified. Never would I have thought that the seemingly quiet girl that sat across from me on that first date would end up shaking my ideals about the about the possibilities of love. Unexpected love has to be one of life's greatest joys. Throughout these past couple of years, I've learned so much. You taught me that just because a conversation is painful, that doesn't mean that it's not worth having. You've shown that emotional transparency is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it strengthens relationships. You've shown me that a listening ear doesn't have to judge, and that an open mind and heart can help us to find our own paths to a peaceful mind. You've taught me that you can state an opinion without being cruel, that truth is never a criticism or insult. You're never one to back down from a challenge or worry because of the hard work ahead. Relationship challenges can be a platform for self-discovery and renewal. As the Beatles said, the love you make is equal to the love you take. And so during our lives together, here's what I promise you. I promise to always be emotionally open, to always reveal, never to hide. I promise to feel all of my feelings and not back down from them, regardless of how weird or uncomfortable or how unfunny the situation. I promise to feel and discuss with you. I promise to be loyal and faithful. I promise to keep our relationship fun. I want to see the world with you. I want to explore a world that I never would have seen on my own. You're the first person I want to say good morning to, and the last person I want to hug goodnight. All I ever wanted was someone to appreciate my weird ideas, someone to appreciate life's adventures as much as I do, and someone to have a great conversation with. And I finally found that person, and I'm forever grateful to have met you, Renee.
Thank you both very much. May I ask for the rings? As we have all come together today to bless this marriage, let us all bless these rings as a sign of love, fidelity, and friendship between this couple. Jim, please take this ring, these rings technically, sorry.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Don't take your own. Slow things down. Please take this ring, put it on Renee's finger as a sign of your love, and say the words, "With this ring, I thee wed."
With this ring, I thee wed.
Renee, please take this ring, put it on Jim's finger as a sign of your love, and say the words, "With this ring, I thee wed."
With this ring, I thee wed.
And as Renee, sorry, this is part of the me not being here for rehearsal. As Renee and Jim light this candle, we're going to have them light the unity candle. We'd like to think of those who couldn't make it here today, and for those who are in our thoughts and prayers, especially Renee's grandmother, Yvonne Marin, Jim's uncle, Bob Sedlock, and Jim's grandfather, James Sedlock.
When your tummy aches, build you a fire if the furnace breaks. Oh, it could be so nice growing old with you. I'll miss you, kiss you, give you my coat when you are cold. Need you, feed you, even let you hold the remote control. So let me do the dishes in our kitchen sink. Put you to bed when you've had too much to drink. Oh, I could be the man who grows old with you. I wanna grow with you.
Renee and Jim, as the two of you have agreed to live together in matrimony, have promised your love for each other by these vows and the giving of these rings, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh. I love you.
Walk away now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Jim and Renee Jones.
this boy.